Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints Video channel, some content for an exciting video as we are now very close to the 2020-21 Premier League season, and that is because the fixtures for the brand new season have been announced today. Now I get incredibly excited on fixture release day. I don't know why, I don't know if you do as well. I am like a kid on Christmas morning. I just love seeing who Saints have got first and when they're going to play every team. Now, especially as well, given that we don't actually know when we're going to be allowed back in stadiums, I think it's a safe bet to think that for all the games after Christmas and in the new year, we'll probably be allowed to go. First couple, of course, we won't be, but regardless, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about the start, we'll talk about the finish, the significant dates, the significant games, etc. But before we get into it, do make sure you have hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, getting closer. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure you have ahead of the brand new season with your notifications turned on. Make sure you're following us on our socials as well. Right, let's get into it. Now, Saints will start the brand new season on the 12th of September away at Crystal Palace. Now, I do believe all these dates are subject to change with TV, but no TV announcements have been made as of which fixtures are going to be televised for the first weekend. I assume that maybe it's a system like we had during the lockdown where every game is on TV in some way, but that doesn't matter. Palace away for the first game, which is actually a very good start in terms of head-to-head record. Saints have won the last 3 trips. They usually do quite well against Palace in general. I think that is actually a very good start. Of course, last season our away form was absolutely sublime, and I think starting the season with an away game is probably a very good shout. And of course, it's not far away at all, 3.5 weeks away now, so it's going to come incredibly quickly. But yeah, I'm delighted with that. It wasn't Chelsea away. I told you guys that those leaks are always fake. Yeah, Palace away, I'm happy with that. Fast forward a handful of months and the last game of the season will be another away game in London, but that is at West Ham. Personally, I'm not too happy about this one. I would have kind of liked to have seen West Ham away one of the first fixtures just to get it out of the way, because we always do terribly there, and I don't want to go ever again. I will go to this one if we're allowed in, probably, but not last season just finished, but the season before that, West Ham away was our last game away from home. This year it's again our last away game and also the last game of the entire season, so hopefully by then we've got nothing to play for. We've got Europe in the bag. We're in the top 4. Of course, I'm joking, but that should be I think that one won't be as significant. I think maybe West Ham could be fighting for the top half this year, depending on whether they have a good start. They actually have a very difficult start in terms of fixtures, but yeah, if they have a good season, potentially they'll be competing with us. But personally, I think we're going to be quite well ahead of them this year, and it shouldn't be too big a game for us. It might be a big game for them. Who knows? They might need a win to survive on the final day. Let's not jinx it. But yeah, it's a pretty iffy game. We've got no clue what's going to happen this season and what's going to be riding on that one. But in terms of Boxing Day, that's also another big day to look out for. We'd head to Fulham at Craven Cottage. I actually really like that. Now, London away days on Boxing Day, we saw at Chelsea, are an absolute nightmare when it comes to public transport. No trains, you got to find other ways to get there. But you know, I like Craven Cottage. I've been there before. I've got a feeling like a bit of cold weather at Craven Cottage, I think it'd be a nice game. It's a winnable game too. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But let's also talk about promoted teams, because we always like to look forward to those games. So the first promoted team we face is West Brom in the 4th game of the season, so very early on. They come to St Mary's. Will Charlie Austin come and haunt us? You can't make up if he did come and score. Hopefully a consolation, of course. Fulham away on Boxing Day, so we actually don't play a promoted side for a couple of months. And then our trip to Ellen Road is midweek on a Tuesday night, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. That is in January on the 12th. I don't actually know why we're playing them first in January. Like, usually, shouldn't we be playing them end of December? I think that's probably with the new fixture schedule. But yeah, we play Leeds away at Ellen Road on the 12th of January. I mean, a night game at Ellen Road, it'll be a good atmosphere for the fans that can come up if we're allowed in. But yeah, it would have been nice to have been on a Saturday, I think, at 3 o'clock. And then we head to the Hawthorns on the 10th of April to face West Brom. Fulham at home on the 12th of May, which is a Wednesday night, and then a couple of days later we host Leeds for our final home game of the season on the 15th of May. So in terms of the promoted teams, it's kind of starts off quite separated and then very congested in the sort of second half of those 6 fixtures. I mean, look, West Brom I think are going to be going straight back down. We'll talk about Premier League predictions in a couple of weeks, but I think West Brom won't be too much of a problem, especially at the start of the season if we have a good start. Fulham as well. I think Leeds could do well this year. But I think against the promoted teams we'll do okay this year. Obviously last season we picked up maximum points against all three, which was outstanding. But let's talk about our start. The first 6 fixtures, I put it on Instagram and Twitter if you've already seen, but our first 6 fixtures are Palace away, Tottenham at home, Burnley away, West Brom at home, Chelsea away, and Everton at home. A mixed bag there actually. It's a bit of a mixed one in my opinion. I think starting off against a Palace away is a great start. That Spurs game could be a bit dodgy. We've got a great record over the last couple of games, drawn 1-2 in the last 4 in all competitions. I think we could get a point at least from that one as well if we have a good start against Palace potentially. Burnley away, always difficult. We haven't won there in the Premier League before, so could we change that? We'll obviously have to see. West Brom, I think, will be a pretty easy win, and if we're looking for our first win by then, I think we'll probably get it in that one. And so I think by the end of West Brom at home, we will have picked up at least one league win. I pray to God, I hope we do. A trip to Chelsea, of course, we won there last season. A bit up and down. We got a 0-0 the season before, lost 1-0 the season before that, lost 4-1, beat them 3-1. So very up and down trips to Stamford Bridge. I think the fact that that's at the start of the season might hinder us a little bit. I think that one will be very difficult. And then Everton at home, usually we do very well at home to Everton. Obviously not this season, just gone. But of course it was an awful start. So I think from those first 6, I think that's okay. I think definitely from at least 2 wins from those. But the other thing is we've got the League Cup. And I said this on Twitter, I'd really like to see us go for the League Cup, because we could end September or sort of start of October, I can't remember how it falls, in the quarterfinals of the League Cup with a couple of league wins as well. That'd be a really solid start to the season, because of course the League Cup up until the quarterfinal stage, the games are going to be played back to back. So we'll play the second round, hopefully go through to the third, hopefully go through to the fourth, hopefully win the 4th round tie as well. And before we know it, we're in the quarterfinals, which would be massive for us, a great start. But to wrap it up, let's talk about the final 6 games, which is also when it gets quite interesting. Will Saints need to win a couple of these to get into Europe, to get in the top half, whatever they're fighting for? Hopefully not to avoid relegation, because if they are trying to avoid relegation with the final 6 games, they might have a difficult one, whatever they're going to be playing for, because they have Manchester City away on the 24th of April. They host Leicester on the 1st of May. Of course, there's going to be a lot of press about that one. We don't need to talk about why. They go to Anfield on the 8th of May. So literally Man City away and Liverpool away are back-to-back away games within 2 weeks. That is a tough ask. And then they host Fulham and Leeds within the space of 3 days, which is a lot easier on paper. And then they finish at West Ham. So those last 3 games, fine. The 3 before that, very tough. So we'll have to see what that holds. But yeah, overall, of course, we play every team at once home, at once away. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I think that start is okay. I think I'd be disappointed if we had anything less than, I think, 7, 8, 9 points from those first 6 games. I know that's probably being a little bit relaxed about it. I genuinely do think we could pick up 4 wins if we're on form and we're starting this season the way we ended the last one. But of course, I've got to be a realist as well. Other teams will be strengthening. Other teams will be looking to pick up wins and get off to a good start. So we'll have to see. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Let me know your opinion on the fixtures, the start, the ends, Boxing Day, first day, last, whatever you want to talk about in terms of fixtures, let me know. But if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you leave it a like. You're subscribed to the channel as well with your notifications turned on. Follow us on all of our socials, and we'll see you very soon for another video.